Hello everybody, this is X299. Now in this video I might bore some people. I might be talking about, a topic that a lot of people think is funny or not interesting or, a million other things. But really what I'm hoping to do with this video is kind of stand up for what I believe, even if it makes no difference in the whole scheme of things, in the whole scheme of YouTube, or, anything about that matter. Now, to start off, to kind of get my point across, I want to talk about something and share something, a part of my life, with my viewers, with you, listening now, that I've never shared with my parents, my siblings, not even my wife. I'm opening up quite a bit to reveal a point in my life when I had quite a few friends. As you know, as a kid, having friends and your social life and what other kids think about you when you're in school is like the most important thing ever. What kind of clothes you wear, how cool you are, who your friends are. It's super important. If you get a dumb haircut at that age, it can be traumatic. If you get a haircut that you think looks dumb, or that, or you're afraid that another kid is going to mock or laugh at or whisper in somebody else's ear about. So I think we can all remember that. Maybe you're a kid yourself, maybe you kind of know what I'm talking about. But when you're, a child, or when you start to go through like junior high, or even in high school, your friends and your social life is extremely important, extremely stressful. If you get a zit on your face or your forehead or whatever, it can be extremely traumatic. So I remember going through the 4th and 5th and 6th grade, I had quite a few friends. Used to go out, on the schoolyard at recess and play football, and I wasn't the coolest guy or the coolest kid in my class, but I definitely wasn't one of the geeks or nerds or in that class either. However, things changed a lot about the time I went to a new school and went to junior high. Being a 7th grader, a lot of the kids that I knew were at the same school as well, and I had some of the friends that I had had for years. But when I went to this junior high school, this is about the time, if you'll remember, that I don't know if anybody remembers, but parachute pants were in style for a very short period of time, at least where I lived here. And parachute pants, if you don't know what they are kind of like plastic tight pants back then, back in the 80s, back in the early 80s. They came out, and for a while they were the hottest fashion. Like, all the cool kids had them, and they were like tight fitting plastic pants, polyester pants that had a million zippers on them, all the way up and down the legs. There was probably 30 pockets up and down your legs, and boy, when they first came out, they looked so cool. Well, my parents never really had a ton of money, and when these things first came out, they were super expensive. And so, unfortunately, all my cool friends and all the cool kids in school had the parachute pants when they were styling, and I didn't. That didn't really affect my friendship or my popularity or anything like that at that time. But then, about the time that parachute pants started going out of, fashion and stuff like that, keep in mind I was in a lot bigger school going to the new, junior high school in my town of Boise, Idaho at the time. And my mom, having the big heart that she did, finally, 6 months later, I think about 6 months, I think like the start of the school year is when parachute pants were really cool and everybody had them. Well, then they kind of started fading out. And people quit wearing them. They went back to blue jeans or whatever whatever was popular then, probably Levi's and Wranglers and, just regular denim jeans. And my mom, knowing that maybe I or us kids wanted parachute pants, she happened to find some on sale at a store, and they were, marked down probably 90-95% once they weren't the latest fad. And so my mom actually found some of the coolest parachute pants I had seen and brought them home for me and my sister. And man, I was so happy when she brought those home, because I knew how cool they were just a short time ago. And I tried these things on, and they were super cool looking. At least I thought so. When I put them on, they fit me just right. And my mom had got them at a discount price, $4 or something. I don't know, when they were regular 30 or 40 when they first came out, which was a ridiculous price back in the 80s for, plastic cheap pants. But I'll never forget how the day that I wore these parachute pants to my junior high school affected me for quite a long time. In fact, I believe about 2 years until I moved to a new school a couple of years later. And what happened is, when I wore these parachute pants thinking I was all bad and cool and finally cool like all the kids were just a month before, I remember walking into school early that morning. And I remember, like, I was in the 7th grade, some 9th grader, some older kid that I didn't know, but obviously some cool kid there was rushing to his class or whatever, but actually stopped in the hallway and saw the parachute pants that I was wearing. And in front of everybody, with a crazy laugh, just burst out laughing like crazy loud at the pants that I was wearing. Now, even though these things were pretty cool looking, and I thought they were cool looking when I wore them, and I thought, hey, if about time I finally got some of the cool pants that everybody else had been wearing all these months. This older kid, when he stopped in the hallway and burst out laughing in front of all the other kids in that hallway, it traumatized me. I mean, I would love to go back now and see how red my face probably was. I just wanted to find the nearest place to hide. I mean, because everybody was looking at me, and this guy was obviously some, one of the cooler guys, in his 9th grade class or whatever. And I was in the 7th grade, and all my friends and stuff like that sat there and looked at him. And of course, they kind of joined in with him, and I don't remember exactly. I was so traumatized, but I'm pretty sure there was a few other laughs and maybe even a few chuckles coming from guys that were my friends, and that's kind of how kids are. But when I saw and turned to my friends, or the guys I thought were my friends, and saw them kind of chuckling too, to be cool, unquote, or whatever, I remember I remember turning and running, and I think I ran outside, before school started, and I remember I missed part of class. I mean, I remember having tears in my eyes. I don't think I was crying, but I mean, I was really shy at this point in my life, and I was really skinny. I was a really skinny kid and really short. I didn't pop up. I'm like 6'4" now, but I didn't grow until I was like 16, 17 years later is when I finally popped up. I mean, I was like one of the shorter guys in my class at this point, real skinny kid. And I just remember how much that traumatized me. Just one little incident like that. Now, of course, that pair of parachute pants that, caused that, even though I thought they were really, really cool looking, those things were gone. I mean, that day. And heck, I might have even walked home. I don't even remember. Maybe I walked home that day and missed the rest of the day and destroyed that pair of pants. But yeah, it was bad. And it changed my life completely at school. The guys that I had hung out with, before that day, suddenly didn't really want to do anything with me. Suddenly they didn't want to be sitting there with me at the lunch tables. I mean, it was horrible. It was a horrible experience, and it just took that one moment from somebody that was considered cool by me. Now, I finally got a break, even though things were starting to go a little bit better over time, and I started building up a little bit more confidence and stuff like that. It wasn't until I moved to a small school in the country a couple of years later that I was able to reestablish myself and, be a cool guy once again, which is so important to kids. And looking at this and remembering now how traumatizing this experience was, and this is a memory that I think I've actually pushed away and I've never really thought about, my whole life until recently, until I really started thinking about YouTube. Now, I'm thinking about one particular guy that I've come across on YouTube that many millions of people probably think is a super cool dude. And this guy, as many of you know, is LeafyIsHere. And I've watched enough of this guy's videos to know that he is growing extremely fast. He is a, quote, cool kid on YouTube. Not that old. I think he's probably in his early 20s. But this guy, at this point, seems to be targeting videos made by YouTubers who barely have a fan base, who aren't nearly as popular as him, and a lot of times who have something wrong with them, whatever it is. Maybe they're just not good looking. Maybe they have some kind of a deficiency somewhere. Maybe, whatever it is, there's different cases. But LeafyIsHere, in my experience, has started really pushing the limits on targeting people and mocking them on his channel, which has millions of subscribers right now. And my fear is that with LeafyIsHere and other YouTubers that I know do the same thing, because it's an effective way of gaining subscribers and making money, obviously, on YouTube. But my fear here is that in LeafyIsHere's case, he's going to push somebody's button that's going to have a dramatic effect, not only on YouTube, but on somebody's life. When you are that big as he is, and when you say the kinds of things and the cruel things that I've heard him say about other human beings, that is a situation where a person that isn't extremely stable, where a person that isn't extremely confident in who they are, what he says about them, that millions and millions of people watch for entertainment, it could drive somebody to commit suicide. It could drive somebody to do things they wouldn't ordinarily do if he wasn't pushing their buttons. And it's a scary thought to me. And the reason I'm making this video is not only for LeafyIsHere. The question I'd want to ask LeafyIsHere right now, if I could ask him, is just 4 words. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And what I mean by that is I believe that LeafyIsHere is probably a great kid. I believe he's probably a great guy. I really do. But I think he's reached a point of popularity status on YouTube where popularity and money means more to him than other human beings. Now I want to let that sink in. Think back to when you were in school, or maybe if you're in school now, if you're in high school, if you're in junior high. Think about the kids and the school that you go to or that you went to in your past. Think about how the popular kids seem to put all their self-importance, all their self-worth on how popular they were, on what other people thought of them, much as I did, and what caused, me to be traumatized, because it ruined my popularity. It ruined what friends thought of me that one moment. And if one kid in a pretty small junior high school when I was a kid can have that kind of effect on me and pretty much, traumatize me and ruin my self-confidence for years, can you imagine? And that was in front of, he probably did that in front of 30 or 40 people, and the school wasn't that big. Can you imagine with the internet today what somebody making a 5 or 10 or 15 minute video mocking somebody with the cruelest jokes, the cruelest, things that can be said about someone in front of millions of people? Can you imagine how much more traumatizing and how much worse that can be? I don't know that my words are coming out as concise and clear as I hope they will, or I want them to with this video. But what I really want to do, more than reaching out to LeafyIsHere, is I want to reach out to all the viewers out there who watch LeafyIsHere, who watch YouTubers like LeafyIsHere, because I know that LeafyIsHere is not the only one. I know there's many, many, many YouTubers who live by preying on other people, preying on mocking other people, whether it be other YouTubers or whether it be, you know, a certain type of person, or whether it be individuals, you know, that he mocks as LeafyIsHere does. By going and watching these videos and enjoying these videos, and I understand why people would enjoy them for entertainment. I get it. I get the whole Jerry Springer thing. But by going and watching these videos and liking these videos, you are supporting every word he says. You are supporting every person he mocks, and you are supporting his every destruction of a person's confidence, of a person's self-esteem, that he tears down in every video. And whether it's LeafyIsHere or somebody else that you watch, I really urge each and every one of you out there to think seriously about why it is that you're liking these videos, why it is that you're watching these videos. You know, is it really that entertaining? Let's put it this way. Let me ask each of you out there. Let's assume that you're watching LeafyIsHere or another YouTuber like him who makes their views and their money by putting down, belittling, and insulting another person. And let's assume you're watching one of these videos, and let's assume it's hilarious and it makes you laugh, okay, one day. And let's just pretend, for the sake of it, that this person, this YouTuber is making fun of, is named, I don't know. We'll just say, for the sake of it, we'll say that his name is Harry Small. Okay, funny name, right? Maybe the YouTuber that we're thinking about, or that you have in mind that maybe you're watching, is making fun of some, I don't know, some little guy or some nerdy guy named Harry Small, just for the sake of it. Okay, and he's mocking him because of his name and because he looks like a nerd, you know, whatever it is. And you think it's funny. Maybe the YouTuber that you're enjoying, whether it be LeafyIsHere or whoever it is that you might enjoy, maybe you think it's hilarious, and maybe whatever the YouTuber is saying is funny. Maybe the words he is saying, you know, kind of matches the guy and the guy's pictures, and you think it's funny. Now I want you to seriously consider to yourself, how would it affect you if you laugh hysterically at this video today, and tomorrow you read in the news or hear on the news that Harry Small has committed suicide because of that video? If you can honestly say that wouldn't affect you at all, that you wouldn't feel a little bit guilty, then there's really no point in you even watching this video. There's really no point in you being here. But to anybody that watches or finds any videos that insult other people's integrity or self, you know, that insults anybody in the kind of fashion that LeafyIsHere insults people in, if you enjoy that kind of a YouTuber and you stop and think that maybe you would feel a little bit guilty if that happened, then I would just kindly ask that you reconsider what you watch and what you personally find entertaining, and understand that by watching these videos and by liking these videos, you are supporting more and more of this kind of behavior on YouTube. You are supporting behavior that can tear down somebody's self-esteem, somebody's self-worth, and for somebody that might already be on the line, a video like that could be the breaking point. And I know myself, I would hate to see that. I would hate to hear about that. And honestly, I truly believe that LeafyIsHere is probably a great guy. And if one of his videos ever does something like that and makes somebody reach their breaking point, I think that guy would probably feel guilty for the rest of his life. I don't know LeafyIsHere, but if LeafyIsHere happens to watch this video, I would simply ask you that question, Leafy. Is it worth it? Is the views, is the subscribers, and is the money you're making worth it? Is it worth potentially somebody else's life? Knowing that you could be doing something that causes another human being to reach that breaking point. Now, I've been kind of thinking about making this video for a couple of weeks now. Maybe a little bit longer than that. And when I was thinking about it, you know, I downloaded some of his videos to kind of show you guys examples of the kind of insults that he does. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to advertise his channel like that. I'm not going to advertise what he does. If you're watching this video, there's probably a good chance you already know exactly what he does. You don't need examples. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, then by all means, go look him up, watch some of his videos, and, you know, come up with your own conclusions. Use your own brain, use your own hearts to make your own personal decision on if you think what this guy is doing is a creative way of making content on YouTube to make money. I personally, I want to apologize to every person out there that LeafyIsHere has ever ridiculed in any way. I want to apologize to every person out there that has been ridiculed or insulted in any way by any person on YouTube. I know it's not my fault, but I sincerely apologize, and I would hope that videos like this could in some small way make a difference. This is Zaxter99. I would hope that that this video reaches somebody and makes somebody think out there. And if it does, it's been well worth my time. If it doesn't, well, I guess I'm putting myself in the line of fire for a lot of attack. I know that guys like LeafyIsHere has a lot of subscribers, a lot of very loyal fans, and fans that are more than willing to get very hostile on anybody's channel that dares say anything bad about their icon. Anyway, it is what it is. I hope all of you guys have a great day, a fantastic night, whatever time it is in your part of the world. And I hope that this video reaches somebody out there. Be sure you comment down below. Be sure you rate this video. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This is Zaxter99. Take care.